Hey guys, MeLikeBigBoom here, bringing you guys some Grand Theft Auto 5 High Life Update DLC gameplay. So this came out today, which is, May 13th, and as you can see in the bottom left, new weapon and new vehicles have been added to my garage property. So, in this video I'm going to be covering essentially everything that came out in the High Life Update, or at least everything that was important. So I'm going to be covering the cars and the guns, and maybe the online stuff that was added I'll cover in a separate video, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not too big on the online part of Grand Theft Auto 5. I mostly care about the cars and the weapons in these updates that they've been releasing. So we're going to start with the cars, and there were four different vehicles that they released in this High Life update. They had two supercars, an SUV, and a motorbike. So we're going to start with the Zentorno. Now, as you can see, it's got some crazy features on it that are extremely cool, and I'm going to break them down bit by bit, because this is essentially a huge hybrid between lots of different Lamborghinis, and it really did turn out cool. I like the whole accent thing that's going on with the black and orange. Extremely cool color combination with this car. So the rear end is based heavily on the Sesto Elemento, especially with these hexagonal holes on the back of the car, and then the front whole area is based on the Lamborghini Veneno and a little bit of the Lykan Hypersport. And these headlights up in the front are based on the 2015 Acura NSX. And then the A-pillar of the car, which is the pillar where the front windshield is attached, that is based on the Lamborghini Huracan, yeah. So lots of Lamborghinis, and it makes sense because it also is Pagasi, which is the in-game company's version of Lamborghini. So the car performs very well. Obviously, I mean it's a supercar. It's got relatively fast acceleration and pretty high top speed. I would just consider it pretty much like an Infernus, except a little bit more on the higher end scale. So we're going to drive over into the Los Santos Customs and see what kind of customization items they have to offer. Oh. Alright, so there's a little bit of damage for you guys. And I guess we get to see the repair costs, which are usually the same for all different kinds of vehicles. So Pagasi Zentorno, a supercar, pressing repair vehicle, and looks like the customization items are pretty much the same as every other car, so I'm going to just put on the regular. So with the chassis upgrades, it's essentially only changing the side blades, which is it's right there. Okay, I'll put in an arrow. It's right there. So essentially the chassis is changing it from the stock, which is carbon fiber, to the painted color, to the secondary orange color. Now I like carbon fiber, so I'm going to keep it carbon fiber. Obviously we're going to do some nice engine upgrades. As for the exhaust, you can change it. Jesus Christ! That is huge. Okay, so this is kind of absurd. This one isn't as absurd, but this is just crazy. So I think I'm going to do this hyper exit exhaust because it's pretty cool looking, and it's a tradition for Lamborghini vehicles to kind of have this. The Aventador has that kind of exhaust, I'm pretty sure. The Reventon has that kind of exhaust. So I'm going to slap that baby on there. For the hood, there's a slippy hood. What is that? Oh, okay. So it just removes the front hood vents, and then there's a striped hood. I think that's a bit too much of orange. I like it when it's just strict lines. So there are xenon lights. Okay, I'll put it on. Respray. I'm not sure if I really want to change this, to be honest. It's really cool looking with this color combo that they have already on here. I wonder with the secondary color what kind of things we can do. We can do red. Oh, that's really cool too. What about chrome? No, it doesn't pop. You know, I'll do carbon black. I'll just stick with it. As for the skirts, you can just get an extension. You can make it carbon or the secondary color. I think I'm liking that. It kind of carries on the tradition and nicest sweep of the color from the front to the back. For the spoiler, oh my god, that is a lot of spoilers. So we have a relatively low profile spoiler, and then you can make it in secondary color or carbon. Then there's a street spoiler, which is kind of what we see on like the Koenigsegg, whatever that one is called. And then you can do secondary and carbon, or there's racing. My god, kind of makes like some dual shark fins on the back. You know, I'm not really liking any of them, really. They're a bit too out there. This one might be, it's pretty cool, but I think it's just almost too much for the car. It's already too busy back there. There's a lot of stuff going on back there. Put on that race transmission and the turbo tuning. For the wheels, let's see what it looks like with something else. Let me see. Oh, you can't change it back? Really? Alright, well I guess I'm stuck with these. I guess I don't really get to compare to it. Compare it when it's stock. Whatever. Okay, bulletproof tires. I don't really like to mess with the tire smoke. It's a bit kind of unrealistic. Limo tint as always, and that concludes the Pagi Zentorno. Moving on to the next one, we are going to be looking at the Massacro, which is in addition to the Dubashi family of vehicles, which is in real life based off of the Aston Martin. So this one specifically is kind of based off the second generation Aston Martin Vanquish and a little bit of the Corvette C7, and then also a little bit of the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. So, what was it, Massacro? Yeah. So the rear is pretty much the same as, oops, I just went inside the car, inside the garage again. Well, I guess we get to look at it and walk around in the light. So the rear area, or fascia, is essentially the same as the Rapid GT, except it's kind of more ovular or whatever, oval-like. And the front area is based off of the second generation Aston Martin Vanquish. And then this front vent right here, right under the logo, is kind of like the Corvette C7. And then the front headlights are kind of like the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. So let's get in and see what kind of customization items they have available for this. I mean, the Pagi Zentorno, that thing just looks fast. It looks like it's absurdly fast and obscenely expensive. But this one, you know, it's still fast. I mean, it would be a good challenge against the Pagi Zentorno, but when you look at it in the parking lot, it's not as much of a wow factor. So cars like that in Grand Theft Auto, they usually have a lot of customization items that you can choose to put on them. So we're going to repair it, slap on the new brakes, and moving on to the bumpers, we have a carbon splitter, which essentially just extends it a bit more, kind of like in that. Then you can do a painted front splitter, and then a carbon race splitter, which has these canards on the left and right side, and it extends out the front bumper a bit more, and it says Dubashi on the front, the car manufacturer. And then as for the rear, you can add a little diffuser, or an extension to the diffuser, and then a race one, which will add a even more of an extension, and then a tow hook on the back. So, you know, I think I'm liking these. I'm not sure if I like that tow hook there. I mean, it's not really fitting of the type of car. I kind of consider this a medium between a sports car and a luxury car, and I feel like it's not as much meant for the track, so the tow hook isn't really fitting, but I do like the extension of the diffuser on the bottom. There's a roll cage edition, or there's the race roll cage, which adds the fuel tank caps on the windows for like pit stops and stuff for easier access. And then the regular roll cage is black, and the race roll cage is white. And then also the race roll cage adds a hood scoop, which is funny because it's kind of pointless, because the only reason why you actually have a roof scoop is because it feeds air into the engine in the rear, but there is no engine in the rear. The engine's in the front. So that roof scoop is for aesthetic reasons. So kind of pointless, but whatever. Exhaust, you can make them titanium, which gives them a little bit of a blue tint on the end. Whatever. Why not? You can add these Ford GT style wing vents to cool down the engine and the wheel well. It's a bit too much for me. It's not. I mean, it's like the only vents on the car, so it's not really fitting. And also, look at, they just bolted it on, so it just looks kind of funny. For the hood, there's a carbon hood. I don't really like it because if you're gonna make the hood carbon, you should also extend it to the roof and the trunk, so in that way it's a nice flow. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll do that. Let's see how the vented hood and the vented fenders look together. Yeah, it's still a bit too much. Moving on to the next one, there's horns. I'll skip those. Xenon lights looks pretty good. Put on my YouTuber private plate. A respray. It's gonna be kind of hard. One thing that I like to test out is black with a pearlescent red or a pearlescent purple. So, see how red looks like. Oh, that does look really cool. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Moving on to the purple. And it does look pretty cool too. It really does match the titanium tipped exhausts. Kind of a midnight ride. I like it. I don't know. You guys comment down below on which pearlescent you like more, or even if at all. But I think I might stick with red because it's a bit more masculine. So I'll do that. Skirts, let's see what's kind of side skirts we can do. There's carbon. Then there are race ones with painted in carbon as well. I think I like this one because it's got that little fin on the side. I'll do it in carbon because carbon's cool. Yeah, like stuff like this, that's too much. Way too much. Same with that. That's too much. I like low-level spoilers to where they're subtle, but they still have a purpose of providing downforce. So, I might actually... No, I'll do carbon. Okay. Transmission, gotta upgrade that. And turbo, we gotta upgrade that. Wheels, I'm not really liking those wheels too much. The S Racer, and then I'll put on... Make them carbon black. Oh yeah. Maybe a bit lighter. Too much. Yeah. Alright. And bulletproof tires. What about custom? Are those looking good? Nah. Windows. Yeah, tint them. And armor upgrades. I don't really like to do those because it's just, I kind of like destruction because I'm kind of MeLikeBigBoom. So performance wise, it's kind of sluggish, very poor turning radius, but you know, it is a hybrid between a luxury vehicle and a sports car. So it's, I mean, it's not extreme performance. It just feels heavy with a lot of horsepower. So around the corners, it's a bit slow. So this is comparable to like the Aston Martin Rapide or whatever it is based on. Thank you. Don't mind me, I'm just a millionaire stealing money from a person who stole money from you. Alright. Why are you saving? So far I'll choose the Zentorno over this one any day, but this is cheaper, obviously. I'm not even sure what the Zentorno costs. I'm going to look it up. So it's $725,000. So pretty cool. And the Dubashi Massacro is $275,000. So 3 of these babies is the same cost as this baby. So yeah. Moving on to the next one, we have the Huntley S, which is based off of the Bentley EXP9F concept SUV. And then the sides, you can't really see it too well. Right here is kind of like the Range Rover Evoque, and the whole front area, the whole grille and headlamps and everything is just screaming Bentley at you. It just looks like a Bentley. So this one costs $195,000, so cheaper than the Aston Martin that we were looking at before. It so far performs just like any other SUV. I think it's comparable to like that kind of, whatever that is, the Toyota thing. Actually, I'd really have to say it's kind of the fastest SUV. Really, it feels a lot more agile. It just feels like it can take turns better. Its acceleration is not too great, but that's what's to be expected. It just feels lighter weight than most SUVs. I really think that if you're looking towards buying an SUV, this is the best choice. Alright, so I really do like that front end. I'm gonna try not to mess with that area. It looks really nice. So far not too many customization items. There are different kinds of chrome tipped exhausts. I might do these dual titanium exhausts, and then I'm kind of liking this. No, not really. This one though, that's pretty nice. I like that. Not too much. It's just a nice symmetric hood scoop. So I'll do that. Xenon lights. The YouTuber license plate. What about matte black or an olive drab? Actually, that does look pretty cool. I like that. So we'll do that. Secondary, a matte black. Yeah, I like the matte black, but what about chrome? No. Okay. What about the primary chrome? No. Next, there's the roof. You can add a roof rack. I like that. Alright. Suspension, you can lower the suspension a bunch. Actually, that's pretty nice. I think it will also help with the turning, because it's got a lower center of gravity now. For the wheels, I really do like those wheels, but let's see what else they have. No, I think I might just stick with stock. Or maybe we can do an SUV and do the current ones that are already on it and change the color. So that is, I think the closest we're gonna get is something like this.
That's a beauty right there.
And then change the color. Yeah, I like that.
They won't shoot these
And some bulletproof tires. Limo tint. And this being an SUV, I mean, you gotta armor it up. Alright, so here is our Huntley S. Very cool looking. Very aggressive. And it sits real low when you lower it. That's really nice. I like this. Favorite SUV so far. Very cool. Oh, and that accelerated faster than I expected it to. Dang, dude, this thing gets going. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. I think this will be a popular hit in online. You'll be able to fit a lot of people in it. I think 5 people in it, and it'll get you where you need to go. And it's also big, tough, heavy. So if there's anything that's in your way, you don't really need to worry about them. Sorry about that. Ooh, sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. Good thing about the armor. So, I like this a lot. Super great SUV. Yep, and it's able to take those corners real nice. So the next one we're going to look at is the Dinka Thrust. Yeah, it's a new bike. And I'm not big on bikes, you know. I'm not a motorcycle specialist. So according to the GTA Wiki, it is based off the Honda CTX 1300. So far, I think this is like my favorite bike. It's an extremely long, slender, aggressive-looking bike. Although the way he's positioned, it kind of looks like a moped, to be honest. So this bike is a freaking ridiculous $75,000. So I'm assuming if you apply some customization items, it better be pretty good. So that's really nice. I like the dual carbon exhausts. Cool enough. Kind of gives it a bit more of a sporty look. Xenon lights. Private plate. Respray. Let's make this thing. Okay. Can add little storage boxes, which completely ruins the car and makes it look like, or bike or whatever. So you can add those if you want, but whatever. Transmission, you can change that. Turbo tuning, wheels. You can't even really see the wheels, but yeah, I think just stock is the coolest looking. So there's that. I'll put on bulletproof tires. And that's really it. So that's done with the Dinka Thrust. There isn't really very many aesthetic customization items that are available for the bike. There are the exhaust and then the little thin things, and then of course performance upgrades. So that really concludes all the different kinds of vehicles in the game. But now we are going to be looking at the new Bullpup rifle. So I'm not really a huge gun specialist, so I can't really say what this is based off of. You know, from Call of Duty experience, it looks like a FAMAS, which I know is a Bullpup rifle, which Bullpup is where the action or the actual combustion or the explosion of the bullet and all that stuff is behind the trigger. So that's what Bullpup is. So the magazine is behind the trigger, and judging by that little grip, kind of looks a bit FAMAS-y. And yep, that's about it. So far it is performing just like any other assault rifle, really. I think really the closest weapon that there is to it is the regular carbine, but it has a lot more of a mechanical rattly noise to it. But in terms of the recoil and the range and the damage, it's pretty much like the carbine rifle, so nothing really too special. And in Grand Theft Auto there really isn't much room for uniqueness in weapons, so I'm not complaining or really kind of asking for any more. Really, I'm just big on the car side of things. I'm gonna try and take out this helicopter, and it's gone. You can't kill me if I'm already dead. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even hit the ground first. So that is everything in the High Life update for Grand Theft Auto 5 in terms of the vehicles and the weapons that were announced. I pretty much covered all the different customization items that they have available. Oh, I didn't go over the customization items available for the gun. Should have done that. But whatever. So I'm sure there's probably just a grip and extended mags and silencer and all that jazz. So I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay video of Grand Theft Auto 5, the High Life update. That is all I have for now. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and do all that gibberish because me like Big Boom is out.